All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. Excuse me, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but nonetheless, let's get into the topic for today. Now, if you read, I said I've been doing things totally wrong. And it has nothing to do with investments, so to speak, but it was the reluctance or the being being way too patient and letting time dictate the moves that I want to make when it comes to a very profitable and well known business. And basically, it's about real estate. Now, I'm going to get to that, but I think that initially I'm going to give you some information of some of the common mistakes that we make in investment, which has to do with real estate, but more of a REIT. That's your real estate investment trust, where you're actually investing in real property through an investment platform or an investment entity or an investment company. Now, number one is not understanding investments. And there's so many investments that you can make. Would it be like in commodities? That's your, gold, gas, oil, beef, such things like that, or intellectual properties. There's just so many investment things that you can do. Now, as I was reading, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Now I've done the ABCs. Now I'm also reading the one Guiding to Investments, and then his whole philosophy about that, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, and index funds are fake. And matter of fact, he has a book recently came out about fake teachers, fake assets, and fake money, and all those things. And that's what he's actually referring to. Now, I don't necessarily agree with him on those particular points because he also essentially says you can be a millionaire from doing those things. Now, I know people who are millionaires. Two of my college buddies are millionaires. And the one question I ask myself is, Ross, why are you not a millionaire yet? Okay. You have two of your brothers who are millionaires. What did they do that you haven't done? I always claim myself to be a thousandaire because I have thousands in the bank, but I don't have millions. Now, these guys have millions. So my first friend, I almost said his name. My first friend, he became a millionaire by simply making a very risky investment that I wouldn't do for today. He worked for the federal government. He is originally from the East Coast, the Washington, D.C. area, which I'm originally from. Even though we met in school, he still went to school there. And then his company transferred him out to San Francisco. San Francisco or San Diego. It's one of the Sands, right? San Bernardino? No, it's either San Francisco or San Diego. And he actually quit his federal government job and worked for a private corporation that was, paying him 150, 160,000 plus. Now, that particular company had a stake in a stock because he didn't sign up to be a what was it? I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the correct information. He's not part of the directors. He had no affiliation with the stock being created or the thought of the stock or anything to do with the stock that they actually created for marijuana. But what he did was he took out his 401k, he took out his savings, and he literally threw all his money inside of this cannabis stock. And when the stock first came out, it ballooned up 100 to 200%, and he instantaneously became a millionaire. Now, he profited from all of his returns, his ROI, around $3 million. All right. He invested about 100,000, no more than 100,000. And I can't even do the math off the top of my head because, he gained so much off his return. It's remarkable, but it was a gamble because he could have been stagnant in his returns, or he could have lost it all. Right. And I'm going to tell you why he could have lost it all. Quite frankly, Tilray. Quite frankly, Tilray. That's Tilray. Now, last time I looked at Tilray, it was about $27 per share. And the reason why I said that is because I was buying options with Tilray, right? And then Tilray, I think it was, I believe it was last year. I don't believe it was this year because it still hasn't recuperated. I bought one of the largest options on Tilray and I made 20,000, right? And I was stupid. Okay. I don't know what was I thinking. I knew that anytime something balloons up very quickly, pop goes the weasel. The balloon pops, right? And the investment went totally down. So now I think Tilray went up to $400 a share. Don't quote me on that. I probably have to let me just look at this while we speak here, guys. Let me just look at Tilray stock just to make sure I give you the actual amount that it ballooned up to. But now Tilray is about $27 a share. As a matter of fact, it's $20.85 a share. Okay. So let's look at the 5-year max to make sure. Okay, I was way off. It ballooned up to $150 a stock. A share. $150 a share. And I put a lot of money into it. Let's just put it out. I bought options, so I made a lot of money. And then I sold those options. Then I took the money that I bought for those options. Then I bought the actual shares of Tilray. I shouldn't have done that because it was the first time I ever did it. I just thought Tilray was going to continue to climb. This is when Aurora Cannabis and Tilray was actually making footway inside of the cannabis investment market. I've been doing things totally wrong when it came to option trading, right? Because option trading is timing. It's timing of the market. And it's also buying increments of shares and then buying them at a lower or higher price that you actually bought it from. Now, in the beginning, I was telling you about how I've been procrastinating on making business moves. I'm a type of person, the reason why it takes me longer to do things is because I don't like to lose. But everyone knows the term scared money don't make money. And the new term I'm actually looking into is that you don't even need money to make money. Okay, you don't even need money to make money. It's quite remarkable. But anyway, so I lost a lot of money with Tilray, and my buddy called me up. He said, "Yo, Ross, listen, man, I made 3-point-something million. What did I do with the money?" So here's a millionaire calling me, right? Because again, it was a gamble. He wasn't expecting to make that much money. He thought he'd make a little money. I'm just so excited because he made all the money and I didn't. But anyway, he calls me. We talk about money. And I tell him what I think he should do with his money, okay? And he is still making more money off his money. My money makes money. If you've been with me more than a year or so, you understand I changed my channel name a couple of times from My Money Makes Money to Ross World to Financial Literacy 101. And it's quite frankly, a lot of people are finding it hard to find me for Financial Literacy 101. I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. If you got any comments, leave them in the comment section and let me know what you think. Anyway, I have another friend. He's from New York, and we also went to college together. He has an MBA, but he got into real estate. And I've been sitting on the real estate market for a good 3 to 5 years, trying to learn this, trying to learn that. And today, I gave him a call on my way to work, and I said, I have 2 questions. What do you think about real estate when it comes to multifamily homes? And what do you think about using debt as a vehicle to create income? And he says, it's good. I was like, bro, I need some more information. And then we started talking. I talked about the books he read. He said, you know what book he read that changed his life? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Because he said, once I read that book, and he also told me his story about him struggling as a business entrepreneur and a real estate agent. So he realized being an agent wasn't as profitable as buying property and selling property. And I asked him about, what area should I go into? Because I looked at our series of Rich Dad Poor Dad on his channel, and they were talking about buying multifamily homes, right? Whether it be a duplex, triplex, or quadplex, right? Your fourplex, and making them assisted living towards the senior citizens, because senior citizens are getting away from buying. They're doing more rented because of their budget, right? They have a set income budget that they work their butts off for, and this is mainly your baby boomers, okay? Mainly your baby boomers. That's a great book. Thank you, Dolly Smith. So what they were talking about assisted living is that these people sign leases for 5 to 10 years at a time, and they have their set budget income go directly to a bank account, right? Basically to your bank account. And I was like, okay, that is an option. So I asked my buddy, and I talked to 2 people who did in real estate. Now, one person who did in real estate, I was feeling under the weather from work. So my boss sent me home, and I was like, I went to go pick up some food. And so another buddy of mine say, hey, you and this guy need to get together. I didn't know who the guy was. He said he deals in real estate. Now, this guy's 10 years younger than me, but he knew more about real estate than I've never known, right? This blew me out the water because I know basic knowledge about real estate. It's probably one of my weakest areas, but I can tell you I'm a fast study and I am going head in quickly. So anyway, he was telling me about amortization of loans and how to use everything that he said. Yeah, I read that book. And he also read the one book I always give you guys, Think and Grow Rich. I told him, hey, read Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. And he was like, I said, same author, Napoleon Hill, but it's with Dennis Kimbrough. That's just a nugget of information for you guys. Anyway, so my buddy was like, this is the buddy from New York. He said, yeah, man, you should think about public housing. I was like, public housing? You mean like, Section 8? He was like, yeah, public housing. And I was like, oh, okay. He said HUD is giving a lot of benefits and tax deductions when you go to, a family housing. And I was like, since I'm not well versed in the real estate game, he said, listen, this is what I did. And he talked for, a couple of minutes or so and gave me basic information. I need to call him back and get some information. There's a lot of things I'm trying to do. And then I talked to the guy, as I said, when I went to go pick up my food. He was telling me about not public housing. What did this guy say? I'm so sorry, guys. I've been really diving deep lately inside of this, but I've been doing things absolutely wrong. That is the title of this video. And what that means is I've been sitting on real estate because I was thinking, you know what? I need to go get a real estate license. No, you don't. You do not need a real estate license to buy and sell real estate. Now, here's the thing. I'm a veteran. And it's not that I just found out, is that I may utilize this. With my VA loan, I can literally go out and buy a multifamily home, right? If you know the benefits of VA loan, it's quite remarkable. I can go and buy a multifamily home. The only catchphrase in that is I have to live in one of the units. So what I'm getting at, I'm getting into real estate. Also, with all my AKA Rich Dad, Poor Dad fake assets, okay? I'm still going to do my fake assets because I am getting into a well-diversified portfolio, meaning fake assets that actually accumulates, money, and real assets. Because soon here, and you're going to hear people talk about it as the year becomes closer to the end, is that we're due for a depression or a recession. Here's the thing. Regardless of a depression or recession, what do people always need? Commodities and property. You need somewhere to live. People need somewhere to live, and people are going to need food to eat. So if you are investing in real oil and gas, natural gas, gold, silver, and beef, these are commodities, then you're still going to make money in your return. Or your assets may maintain its value, okay? It may maintain its value. But if you notice in real estate, people always make good money in real estate by making sound intellectual financial decisions based upon the properties where they buy them and rent them in the certain areas. And who are you? Who are you catering to? Now, I have this idea is when I buy this multifamily home, I'm actually I'm actually going to put a little twist on mine. I'm not saying anyone else is not doing this because, quite frankly, somebody else is doing this. I'm gonna make mine smart, meaning I might have a Ring doorbell and maybe Amazon Echo or Google Home where they can interact and see it. For some people, that one security feature will speak volumes to them. Okay, will speak volumes to them because you can market it as a smart multi-family home, family friendly or something like that. It's all about branding. It's all about marketing. And I'll tell you what I just did. What I just did. I went, and you can do it too, and it's totally free. And here's one of the nuggets that my friend from New York, who's the millionaire, okay, who deals in real estate, told me. And this is why I did this. He said, I said, so you're talking about moving to Delaware? He said, yeah, because of tax purposes and the cost of living is cheap, but I can still run all of my rental properties in New York. And I said, okay. I said, so what I've been reading is that any income that you earn, if you earn it under your LLC, your limited liability corporation, that you can actually put that under your LLC as debt, which then deducts and you don't have to pay taxes. He was like, yeah. He said, my house is under my LLC. Now, some of you already know this, or some of you already heard somebody thought of this. When he said that to me, I read it earlier. Okay, I read it earlier. But to hear someone who actually does it, right? See, that's the thing. A lot of times people or on social platforms who are doing things, right? Who are saying things. Let me say that. Who are saying things, but who are not actually doing them. Because if you've been on my channel, I've always gave people information how to lower your costs, how to help you with your house loan, but I never really talked about real estate in this particular manner because it's new for me. And as I tread this very lightly, it's a risk, but I'm okay with that. But I'm going to give you the information. I've been doing things totally wrong because I have been patient about how I go into real estate. And I should have done this last year because if you notice, when Trump made the tax cut, my boy, he was like, I don't like Trump, but I love what he did for real estate. And why did Trump do it for real estate? Because Trump is a billionaire because of real estate. When his father gave him a small loan of $10 million, he took that money and bought real estate. So now that he's president, he is actually, when he does these tax cuts, of course he did it for the filthy rich, but the filthy rich are mostly into what? Either buying businesses or residential properties. And they hide their taxes, right? They hide not their taxes, their debt inside their corporations and LLCs in order not to pay taxes. You don't know what you don't know. And here's the thing, guys. You are doing things totally wrong. If you think that you can watch a video, if you think that you can talk to a friend and get all the information that you need to know in order to go into real estate and buying real property, I'm going to say you're absolutely wrong. That's what I'm going to say. Unless that friend is willing to walk with you and talk with you through every single step, then you're going to need to read books. I don't care if it's a real book or a digital book, because I do a lot of digital books because I can't discourage all the books. Because the books I'm reading now, again, Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson. I'm also reading A Guide to Investment, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's another book I'm reading. Oh, And I'm reading in this book is really, really small. It's called The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And the reason why I like that book is because we need to tap in our subconscious mind in order to charge our mind. Because believe it or not, when you tap into your subconscious mind, you can generate power and thoughts that's going to propel you into an atmosphere of your mind and brain that you would never thought of. Because a lot of us have what? The blinders on. We can't see past our walls, right? We are scared. Me, I think that I was fearful of losing money. See, when you come from nothing, like me, from Southeast DC, poor, where my mom and I were homeless. We were poor. We lived on the streets for 2 weeks. We were homeless, right? When you don't even have money, okay? We were homeless, and the only job that my mom, I can remember, had was working at McDonald's. And she only had an 8th grade education. And that's because when my grandfather died, there was no income. So my aunts and uncles and my mom had to go out and get jobs. When I say homeless, we lived on the street and then we also lived in a shelter. And I have been reluctant. I have been fearful. I have been scared. I've been all those words to put a block and a limit on me when it comes into real estate, because I'm like, man, I don't want to lose. I don't want to buy property in the wrong area. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, do I renovate? Do I flip houses? Because I remember, what's his name? Mr. Wonderful. He came to Washington. I went up to Seattle and I went to a week. It was a week of them showing us how to buy real estate, but through their platform and through their banks, and it felt like a scam. So I didn't know. Okay, I did not know. I put $1,000 in, and I said, you know what? I want my money back. I don't like this engine, and I'm glad I did because I haven't heard any success stories out of that. So today I went on irs.gov. That's irs.gov. That's your friendly family and friends from the Internal Revenue Service. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all probably owe taxes. I know they're not your friends. They're the IRS. I'm sorry. It's just so funny because they're not your friend. They want their money. But here's the thing. I went up there and this is totally free. This is totally free. One of the first steps you want to do is actually create a EIN number. That's a EIN number. And an EIN number is basically a social security number for a business. Okay? For a business that you're possibly about to start. And we either be a sole proprietorship, right? Meaning that it's just going to be you, or you create an LLC, and you can also create an LLC by yourself. But the problem with that with taxes is when you create an LLC and you tell the IRS, hey, it's just going to be me, they say, you know what, in an LLC, you're not going to pay taxes when you are by yourself. But what they say is any money that you make, regardless if it's under the LLC or through your regular income, however you make it, you still have to file that money on a 1040. On a 1040. Oh, thank you, Miss Curly Girl. Happy belated birthday. Yes, guys, my birthday was on Monday of last week. Monday last week. And I turned yeah, anyway, no, I'm kidding. I turned 41, guys. I'm actually 41. This is makeup I have on. That's why I look so young. No makeup here. But anyway, back to my point. So EIN is a social security number for a business, right? So there's certain steps you need to take. My next step is to go out to the state auditor's office or the assessor's office. One of the two. And I'm going to patent. It's not really patent, it's register. Thank you. Register my business name. And my business name is going to be Ross World. And getting an EIN. Thank you. And my business name is going to be Ross World. And the reason why I'm going to stick with Ross World and not Financial Literacy 101 or My Money Makes Money is because if I just do one of those names, I don't want to be boxed into any sort of box, because essentially everything I do for people is free. I do life coaching, and life coaching involves finances, workout, nutrition. Probably don't want to look at my belly right now off the nutrition piece. Been eating. I'm getting ready for Thanksgiving. See, in order to eat a really good Thanksgiving meal, you have to train your belly. I'm just kidding. You have to train your belly to eat a lot of food. So I'm eating a lot of food now. Thank you, Thelma. Thank you. You have to eat a lot of food now to get prepared for the turkey. And I bought a deep fry, so I'm a deep fried turkey. Anyway, back on some money stuff. I'm sorry. I'm getting ready to eat. um, that's the second thing you need to do is patent your name, because what they do is they have a register and they're going to search so no one steals your name. So some of you who heard me put out this information, don't go and steal my name, right? Because I'm gonna have to put Roswell-1 or something stupid like that, right? But anyway, and also when it comes to YouTube, I went back and I created another YouTube channel and I named it Roswell. It's kind of like when Alphabet created, when Google created a parent company and called it Alphabet. So all the assets of Google goes into Alphabet, and all the other subsidiaries are going to fall into Alphabet for tax purposes. So essentially, Google, who is now Alphabet, even on the stock market, does what? They pay zero taxes. The same thing that Amazon's doing. Now, I don't know why Donald Trump only pointed out Amazon, right? Because there's a lot of entities that's doing it. Now, if you guys have been on YouTube for a while, watching videos, however you watch them, YouTube is owned by who, guys? Google. YouTube is owned by Google. Okay. Now, who owns Google Maps? Google. I know, self-explanatory. I know. Who owns Waze? W-A-Z-E. You know, Waze, the navigation app that tells you when the police and, there's an accident and you should reroute. Google. Google bought Waze. See, here's the thing. Google / Alphabet / Amazon / Berkshire and Hathaway / all these companies are conglomerates. They buy other businesses and they say, hey, I'm going to buy your business for this amount of billions or millions of dollars, but I want you to stay on as a CEO. I want you to stay on as an employee. I'm going to give you $50 million plus your regular yearly salary. So some of these people are like, yeah, why not? Because I don't want to do the overhead. So they dump that debt inside their parent company for Alphabet. Ching, they don't pay taxes. Nobody does it. If you listen to people like Dana Pina or what's the Chinese guy name? I forgot his name. His last name is L-O-K. They talk about how companies actually use debt as a vehicle for income, that anytime that business start being profitable, they dump into another business so they can claim debt so they don't pay taxes, even though it's giving them income, right? You have to have some sort of financial literacy 101 to understand what I'm getting at. This channel is for the millionaire minded, right? Or the money minded. So you have to break whatever you think you know about finances. We need to grow together, okay? We need to grow together about this thing, because you're tired of being poor. You're tired of worrying about when your next paycheck is going to be here, how you're going to buy this, how you're going to send your kids to college. I'm giving you the information. As I learn, you learn, okay? And guess how much it's going to cost you? Kind of like Amazon paying taxes. Nothing. I'm not going to charge you anything for the information. And as Rich Dad, Poor Dad will tell you, the rich do not want you to know. I got offended by watching some of his videos. And I'm glad I did get offended, because I think this is what led me to. It made me jump off a cliff and go head in first. And I'm going to tell you why. He said, if you are an employee, you're poor. Or he doesn't mean like relatively poor. He just mean like you're poor, right? Because your mindset is, I need to get a job and actually to have money to pay for stuff. And your mind is now limited because now you are an employee. You're not an owner or boss, right? We kind of use the term boss interchangeably, meaning, oh, I'm a supervisor, I'm a manager, oh, he's the boss, right? And some people say, hey, boss, as a sign of respect. But essentially, you're not the boss of the organization. You're just the boss of that shift. You're just the boss of that day. You're the boss of those hours. So here's the thing. I'm not saying that you should actually go out and just leave your job. No. Work for whoever you want to work for, but start your business on the side. But once that business on the side becomes your organization, becomes your corporation, then you might have to jump ship and leave. See, don't leave a job until you create or have a job. And we need to think about these things together. But initially, let's talk about investments. Not understanding investments will end you up poor. That's why I try to teach you guys about the index and ETFs. They're the most easiest thing that you can do. And for the past 10 years, they have been accumulating the percentage amount around 10%. Now, traditionally, it's been 7%. But either way, you're making money. And some of you are like, oh, I want to buy these companies. Do you want to buy those companies individually on Robinhood.com? What happens is when you don't buy ETFs and index funds, and you don't invest into the total market index of like Vanguard, Charles Schwab, or Fidelity, you don't make any money because when not one stock goes down, doesn't matter how many shares you got, you lose the value of that stock. And if you sell, you lose money on that stock. But when you buy the total market index, whether it be the S&P 500, the top 500 companies, that particular one that Vanguard, Fidelity, and Charles Schwab also have. Now, I showed this, and don't get me wrong, I'm not just speaking from the hip, guys. I do a little research. Okay? I know it's a small little car. Right? Anyway, it doesn't take much to do a little bit of research. I tell people to invest in an index or ETF fund, it doesn't take long. It takes 5 minutes, right? There's a lot of places where you can get information. I like to go to Investor Junkie. I like to go to Investopedia. I like to go to StockWatch. These are all entities for you to learn. And my favorite, and I always say it, and I'm not affiliated, I'm not incorporated, they don't even know me, over at Stash. I love Stash because it's low fees, and it's also, they have a Learn tab to actually teach you investments. Here's another pitfall of not knowing investments. Falling in love with a company. Some of you fall in love with your bank, okay? Do not fall in love with a company. Oh, I just love Nike, so I'm investing in Nike. And you stay with Nike. And don't get me wrong, Nike will go up and down, up and down, and up and down. But you have to know when that stock is failing, where you don't have enough time, okay? When you don't have enough time, depending on when you're going to come out the market, or depending on how many shares you want to sell to be profitable in that one stock. Do not be faithful, okay, or don't fall in love with a company. The same thing as banks. I'm going to jump on banks. Some of you have been with the same bank for the past 5, 10, 15, even 20 years. And you're like, oh, I love this bank because they do free cashier checks and they do free notary. Okay, most banks do that. Checking fees, saving account limits, hidden fees. Also, what is your savings account interest? How much are they actually giving you for your money? Because here's the thing, 99.99 banks, okay, 99.99% of banks invest the money that you put in to save. Now, of course, when you go in to get your money, it's there because they have so many people's money inside the bank. But a large portion, 70% of that money, 99% of banks invest 70% or more of the money that you put in to save. Yeah. Now, when it comes to savings account, they may use it to actually invest in U.S. bonds. With the checking account money, they actually use that money to put into the stock market. Because when you look at banks, they're also, you can buy shares of banks. How do you think they're getting the money to actually build their business, right, and be profitable? Oh, they come out with a new app. That's called innovation, or they invented, right? Whatever. How you think they're doing this? They're not just doing this with their business money. They're doing this with your money. So I always tell people, when you're talking about a high yield savings bank, you need to research that. One bank could be where your direct deposit goes, where your money, but you need to have an allotment to a high yield savings bank that's not associated with that low paying bank. And I know some of you got Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Navy Federal, USAA, Chase Bank, blah, 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 blah. But those banks are not going to give you high returns on your money. Again, if you're going to research a bank, ensure that it's registered with the FDIC and that it gives you up to $250,000 of insurance on your money. All right, I'm off of it. Here's another investment pitfall or an investment mistake. Patience. You have to have patience, especially in the index world. Especially in the index and ETF world, you have to have patience, okay? And another thing, the worst thing that you can actually do is think that you're smarter than the market. Talking about you timing the market. The reason why I like index ETF funds, whether you go through Vanguard, Fidelity, or Charles Schwab, you're actually going to already be dealing with DCA, that's dollar cost averaging. Basically, when the market is at its highest, you're going to buy the least amount of shares. When the market is at its lowest, you're going to buy the most amount of shares. And what happens is dollar cost averaging is a sure way for you to, AKA, beat the market when it comes to the accumulation of shares. Just do the research, okay? Just do the research. You don't have to trust what I say. You don't have to trust what I say. Just do the research. Now, some of you are doing the exact same thing. I've been doing things totally wrong. That's the name of this session. I've been doing things totally wrong, and so are you. And so are you. Guess what you're doing? You're waiting to start investing. You are waiting to start investing. You're like, you know what? If there's going to be a market crash, there's going to be a depression or recession, I'm just going to wait, and then I'm going to buy up the market. Every day you're outside the market, you're losing money. You're losing money. Don't wait for the market to crash, because what if it doesn't? These are just projections. Nobody really knows, right? Jeff Bezos may cough and the market may crash. Warren Buffett may eat a McDonald's burger and the market goes up 20%. I mean, nobody knows, okay? Another common mistake of investment, because you've been doing things totally wrong. Failing to diversify. That's your biggest mistake. I've been talking about it. I'm going to go back to my analogy of the rich dad, poor dad, fake assets, okay? Fake assets. I don't care if they're fake or not. I'm making money in my index stocks. And here's the thing. When I talk about making money, I'm not saying that money is coming back into my account and I get to spend that money. No, I am saying when I look at my account value, I am looking at it going up, 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 up. I'm like, man, I'm making some money. And with my emergency fund, if I were to get into an emergency, I'll go into that. I won't go into my investment. Going into my investments, two reasons why I would go into my investment. This is me. This is my perception of me going into my investments. And I mean selling some of my investments. Number one, my emergency is bigger than my emergency fund. You get what I'm saying? My emergency is bigger than my emergency fund, meaning I have liquidated all of my emergency fund. I have $0.00. That's reason number one. Reason number two I will go into my investments is I'll sell those investments for a bigger investment. Okay? For a bigger investment. Case in point. Now, 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson. He also wrote a book with Robert Greene. It's called The 50 Laws of Power. That's just a nugget for you. 50 Cent, when he sold his shares of Vitamin Water for $400 million, he sold his shares of Vitamin Water for $400 million. So he had an investment in Vitamin Water that was a large sum that Pepsi bought him out. Was it Pepsi or Coca-Cola? Let's just go with Pepsi. Bought him out for $400 million. Was it? I think it's Coca-Cola. I'm going to go with Coca-Cola. I don't know. Someone do the research and leave it in the chat. I'm sorry. They gave him $400 million. Then he took that money and he started making LBMs, low budget movies. I call them LBMs. He started making low budget movies. And then because these low budget movies wasn't producing any revenue, any capital, he filed for bankruptcy. And I believe he filed for bankruptcy twice. But when a rich person filed for bankruptcy, it actually hides or protects. I should use protect, not really hide. A lot of their assets and a certain amount of their money. And for other companies not to come after them to get that. What he was doing was testing the market and actually learning about movie production, right? And how things should be shot, produced, directed, etc. Then he comes out with Power. I say no more. So he took his investments, went to bankruptcy, and now he's back on top with millions and millions and millions of dollars in the bank. He's a very savvy business person, believe it or not. 50 Cent is a very savvy businessman. All right. Here's another mistake of investment. Letting your emotions rule your investment. Letting your emotion rule your investment decisions. And I'm going to tell you why. And anybody who've ever been on this channel more than a day, you probably heard it. You're going to hear it again. Citigroup. Yes. I don't hate Citigroup. I hate myself. Back in the crash of 2008, 2009, I had around 300 to 400 shares of Citigroup. I bought them at $4 a share. $4 a share. And I had about 400 of them. I don't remember the exact number, but I had anywhere between 300 to 400. So let's go with 350, right? Meet in the middle. So here I am with all these shares of Citigroup, and I'm looking at the market declining during this recession. It's going down. And I say, hey, man, I got to sell my Citigroup. And my buddy was like, man, don't sell it. The government is not going to let the banks, fail. I'm like, man, I don't care. Do you see how much I'm losing? He said, man, I'm telling you, don't sell it. I sold it. I sold it when it was at $1 a share. Right? Come on. Really? $1 a share? Wouldn't you sell it too? I know I did. But anyway, so I sold it. And then I forgot about it. I'm not going to lie. I forgot about the share. And here we are today. And Citigroup is worth $70 a share. You know what? I want to do the math on it. If you don't mind, talk amongst yourselves. I want to do the math on it. Because if I say, let's say, for instance, I bought $4 a share. Somebody already do the math? Oh, okay. $4 a share. Let's see. Times 350. Right? That's 1,400. 1,400. So now I do 350 times $70 equals $24,500. So you minus your 1,400 from that or whatever. So you got about 23,100, I think. But anyway, that's how much money I left on the table, was $20,000. Everybody could use $20,000, okay? Raise your hand in the chat if you can use $20,000. This guy right here, I've been doing things totally wrong, okay? I don't do that wrong no more. I stay in my investments, okay? So if you're thinking about starting a business, the number one thing you want to do first is go and start an LLC. Okay. Don't do a sole proprietorship. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why. If you do a sole proprietorship, they're going to hammer you on taxes, because when you do a sole proprietorship, what happens is they make you any assets, any revenue, any money. I'll just use income. Any income that you make, You have to file that on your personal taxes. So it's not protected under your LLC because there's a certain threshold, there's a certain amount that when you put money on the LLC and you file it as a corporation, so LLC colon corporation, you may not even pay taxes because of the debt that you might have accumulated. So you want to go out and get an EIN number, which is a social security number for your business. Secondly, you want to go to your state office, your auditor office, your assessor's office, and register your business name. The other thing you might want to check, right? You might want to check to see within your state if you have to get a business license. That is conducting business in that state. You may need a license, okay? Here's the other thing. Don't let an entity like LegalZoom or Law Inc. do your EIN number for you. They're charging you $79 and they're going to charge you the state and local fee to start an LLC. Don't do that. You can start an LLC for free. The only thing that you actually have to pay is those state fees. All right. I know I've been ignoring you guys long enough. Okay. I'm going to come and read some of your notes here. All right, let's see. All right, thank you, Miss Curly Girl. Moderator on deck, please like this video. I thank you guys. I appreciate it. See, how did you find your millionaire friends? Also, do you find a success money mentor? Good question, Dolly Smith. First and foremost, my friends who are millionaires, I went to school with them. I went to college with them in West Virginia. And we were all on a football team. One of my buddies were from New York, and the other buddy was from Maryland, from the DMV. I'm from DC. I think, where did he go? Was it Oxon Hill? I don't know, but we all played football. So we were there in West Virginia to play football, but none of us made it to the league. Now, I'm about to go. See, I was about to ramble about my quarterback in high school. He actually went to Hampton. He actually played pro football for about 3 years. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I have a lot of friends with a lot of money. For some reason, I find myself without a lot of money. I just have all the information. I have enough money to take care of myself well enough where I can pretty much purchase anything that I want, okay? But I still have this fear of being poor. See, the fear of being poor will limit you. It will limit you. You have a fear of being poor. You have a fear of not achieving things. You have a fear of falling. And when you guys had that dream where you always feel like you were falling and then you wake up and you're kind of like out of breath, you're like, and you're trying to, and then you search on the internet, you're like, hey, why did I have this dream about falling and this, that, and the other? And you're just trying to figure it all out. You're like, I'm doing things wrong in my life. That is the fear I have of not succeeding and being poor and homeless again. The worst thing that ever happened to me was when my mom died when I was 12. But all my memories were traumatic in the sense of being homeless. Being homeless and hungry. That's the worst thing, right? Being homeless and hungry. And I don't want to go there again. So I've been scared to make big money moves based upon my fear that was established from my childhood. But when does a man grow up to be a man? When does a woman grow up to be a woman? Sometimes we put a cap on our maturity. Sometimes we put a limit. Sometimes we put a ceiling on the way we think about things. That's why I give you books to elevate, for you to explore your own mind, for you to break free from strongholds in your life. This is for you to break free from strongholds in your life. Here's the thing. Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dennis Kimbro and Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Napoleon Hill and Dennis Kimbro. Think and Grow Rich. Books help you to lean, to move, to position yourself in a space that your mind has never been. A lot of times I read stuff by financial gurus that I do not like. And then you say, Dolly Smith, you say, who are my money mentors? Woo! You can't just have one. You can't have one. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you some of my money mentors. First of all, Robert Kiyosaki. That's a rich dad, poor dad guy. Robert Kiyosaki. Dan, that's his name. The Chinese guy name is Dan Lok. Danlok. Dan Lok. He has a YouTube channel. He's one of mine. Damon John. That's the FUBU guy who's also on Shark Tank. Damon John. One of the co-founders who has a large portion of Uber. I forgot his name. I know he's a black gentleman. Who else? Who else is there out there? Believe it or not, when it comes to finances, wait for it. Don't get mad. Don't get mad at me. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Here's the thing. You remember people telling you that in order to be successful, in order to be great, regardless of what it is, that you need to follow people who are successful, who are rich, who are this. Then follow those people. What did they do? What market are they in? These are the people that you need to follow. Another money mentor is Tony Robbins, aka Anthony Robbins, the motivational speaker and also investor. That one of his books called Unshakable changed my mind about investing. The name of the book is called Unshakable. He tells you how to prepare your investment portfolio for diversification and in a falling market. Because guess who he went to? Guess who he went to? He went to Vanguard's owner, Jack Bogle. He went to the BlackRock CEO and owner. He went to Warren Buffett. He went to all these huge investors in the market, and he picked their brains. He got their information. He threw it in the book for you and I. And here's another thing. If you go over to Tony Robinson's website, he's actually offering the book Unshakable for free. At one point, I bought the book when it first came out, and he all donated to a nonprofit organization. The book on Tony Robinson's website right now is totally free. The only thing you pay is $8 for shipping. That's it. You pay $8 for shipping. The worth of this book is 10 times more than you'll ever receive. It's 10 times more than you'll ever receive. So, here's the thing, guys. If you're not making moves in your finances, then your finances are not going anywhere. Scared money don't make money. If you're not investing your money, if you're not making money moves, then you're not going to make any moves. I just went over a few mistakes that we all make when it comes to our money making money. Okay? This is financial literacy 101. Here's another thing. There are some decisions in your life that you need to make. The number one thing that you need to do is cut back on your expenses. Nobody wants to do that. You want Netflix, you want Hulu, you want Prime Video, you want all the cable channels, you want a Lexus, you want a BMW, you want an Aston Martin, you want a Maybach. You want it all. In order to get where you need to be, you need to do things you don't want to do. I'm going to say it again. In order to be where you want to be, you need to do things that you don't want to do. I am stepping in a realm that I know nothing about. I take that back. I know a basic knowledge about real estate, but I'm stepping inside of a whole real market of real estate. Because you heard me plenty of times talking about REITs, and that's real estate investment trust. That I'm always talking about investments here, investment there. Go to this investment platform, buy real silver, buy real gold, buy real commodities. And those commodities are gold and silver and beef, natural gas and oil. Here's the thing. In a failing market, in a market with a depression, there's a couple of ways for you to still make money. One of those, real estate. Second, commodities. Because the number one thing that people love to do is eat. I know I do. But anyway, I don't want you guys to be fearful of investing. I don't want you guys to be fearful from going out and buy a property. I don't want you guys to be fearful when it comes to your finances, because if you don't take a risk, you won't make any money. See, I've been safeguarding everything I've ever done because of being traumatized as a kid and being homeless with my mom. I've done just enough to say, oh, you're successful, teetering on successful and being great to successful and being mediocre. I'm teetering on successful of being great and successful from being mediocre. Where do you fall at? Where do you fall at? Do you fall on the I'm successful because I make six figures, but I'm mediocre? Or are you teetering on success and being great? See, a plan isn't nothing if you don't put into action. I told you, I have been timid. I have procrastinated. I have been stagnant on real estate. 3 to 5 years. I've been like, you know what? I should buy a property. Okay, I'll do it. But I never bought a book. I never talked to my friends. I've never done any of these things for myself to be successful. Ross World, let me tell you this. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of being scared. I'm tired of being scared. You know you're supposed to move into a certain space when there's different people in your life all telling you the same thing. Especially when I met somebody a couple of days ago who's 10 years younger than me at 31. He's in the bar with a nice watch on, because I like nice watches. I'll show you. I like nice watches. Okay, that's a Bolivia. That's one of my 7 deadly sins is buying watches. I haven't bought one in a while. But here's the thing. He's up in there, nice watch, cashmere sweater, slacks on, and I'm sitting right beside him. I kind of look at him and say, what's up, right? I'm a little under the weather, and another buddy of mine comes over. He's like, hey, man, what's going on? I say, hey, man, what's going on, man? You know, I'm just here to get some food, blah, blah, blah. I don't feel well. And he says, oh, man, you know him? His name was Kadeem. I said, he said, man, you two should get together. He's in real estate. You in business. Y'all talking business, man. Y'all need to collab and blah, 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 blah. So we start talking, and this guy knows all sorts of stuff about real estate. We read some of the same books, got his number, he got my number, and pretty soon here, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk, because here's the thing. He said he needs a life coach. And just by talking to me, he said, I believe you're the guy I need to talk to. So we're going to exchange information. What I mean is he's going to teach me real estate, and I'm going to teach him how to focus his life in the right direction. Because he told me, he was very candid. He was very transparent. He said, my issue is women, right? Because I'm not saying this is wrong, but I'm going to put it out there. I'm not homosexual, okay? I'm not homosexual, and neither is he. He said, man, my problem is women. Look where I'm at. I'm in here for women. You know what I'm saying? And so I need for him to focus all that energy that he's putting into meeting women into his real estate, and for him being beneficial in his personal and also his financial life. Because a lot of times when you deal in business, your business life kind of tears over your personal life. And that's fine for the first couple of years. You're going to work your butt off your first couple of years. And Dan Look said it the best. That's Dan Look, L-O-K. He said, if you believe that you're going to become an entrepreneur and work less, you're wrong. If anything, you're going to work more being an entrepreneur, because you're starting everything from scratch. It's not like somebody said, hey, man, I have this $1 million business. You want to run it for me and own it? I'm just going to sign everything over to you. No, that's not going to happen. And even if it does, like maybe you was left a business in a wheel, you're going to have to learn that business if you already don't know it. And you're still going to have to do some sort of work. And I don't mean work as in if you own a chain of Papa John's grinding cheese, but you're going to have some sort of financial literacy. And another term that I like, right, and I think I've heard it before, you know, we're always talking about time management, okay? Time management. Get that out of your head. Get time management out of your head. It's a misconception. These words are used absolutely wrong. You know why? Some of you are like, what? What is he talking about? You can't manage time. You can't manage time. There's 24 hours in a day. You can't manage time. Time will manage you. The term you need to replace it with, because you know how sometimes you're like, well, we're going to take this one off. We need a replacement. Priority management. Priority management. You need to put your life in priorities. You need to put your business in priority. You need to put your finances in priorities. What am I going to do first? The first thing that you need to do, the first thing that you need to do, the first thing that you need to do is create a budget. This dude, Kadeem, okay, who's soon to become one of my best friends, because I need to learn this real estate stuff, he does not have a budget. He does not have a budget. I said, because he said, you know what, in the next 5 years, I'm going to be a millionaire. I said, I believe you, but you're not going to become a millionaire. He said, what? He said, you just said you believe me, but I'm not going to become a millionaire, but you believe that I'm become a millionaire. I said, yes. I said, you are, but you're not. And he was like, what? What do you mean? I said, how are you going to become a millionaire? You don't have a budget. How do you know how much money you got going in and coming out? And you're not going to know these things. The first thing you need to do, Roswell, is create a budget. You need to know what's coming in and what's going out. Very, 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 very basic. If you don't have a budget, then I don't know what the hell you're doing. I don't know what the hell you're doing. I don't know what the hell you're doing. I have no idea what are you doing if you don't have a budget. I have no idea if you don't have a budget. What are you doing with all your money? You don't even know. Right? Today, I know how much I spent. I spent $11.62 because I went to Starbucks for their $10 coffee. I went to Starbucks for the $10 coffee, and I spent $11.62. Okay. What's a W-2? Chantel C.C. Oh, it's a tax document. That's what it is. That's what it is, a tax document for the U.S. But anyway, if you don't have a budget, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Okay. Second thing you need to do, which is going to be simultaneously working on two things at the same time, decreasing your debt level. And here's the thing, you don't need to alleviate your debt, especially if you're going into business for yourself and you're going to attain a business loan and then use that business loan and dump it inside an LLC and use that debt as a vehicle for income and pay zero taxes. So you need to decrease your debt, okay? You want your debt to income ratio the same as a credit card utilization. You don't want it over 30% because then banks, because you can have a personal credit and you can have a business credit. When you have a real bad personal credit score and you don't have any assets, then it's going to be hard to attain a business loan. Unless you have some sort of astronomical genius business plan that the bank's like, okay, but we're going to have to give you this business loan at 7%. I'm trying to set you up for success when you go into Bank of America and you ask for $50,000 to start your business. When you ask for $500,000 to buy a hotel or a motel. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to set you up for success because one thing leads to another. Because when you start decreasing your debt, your credit score starts to increase. When you start to decrease your debt, your credit score starts to increase. And if you're already on the road and you're doing pretty well with your credit cards or you're doing pretty well with your credit score, then I will encourage you to go out and have at least two credit cards. That's going to help the threshold of your debt to income ratio. Okay, because when you have a certain amount of debt and when the creditors look at your credit portfolio, your credit profile, so to speak, and they see that you have more debt, like, oh, we see your house, we see your car, we see your personal loan, we see this and we see that, but your income is down here. You are $60,000 in debt and you only make $50,000 a year. When you get credit cards and your credit card is 10, 15, 20,000, it raises it past your debt level, and then your credit score starts to raise because your utilization of your debt goes down. That's easy to understand, right? Financial Literacy 101. This is very easy to understand, guys. When your debt and your income, let's just say it's perfect. You're $60,000 in debt and you make $60,000 a year. And you're like, uh-oh, my credit score is trash. I can't even get a loan. My credit score is garbage, it's rubbish. But when you get credit cards, it raises your income level because it has to do with the amount of credit that you can use in order to make moves financially, however you want to make them. So you need at least 2 credit scores. That's going to help you. You need at least 2 credit cards. That's going to help your credit score. I've been doing things totally wrong. I've been sitting on real estate for way too long. I've been doing everything else right, diversifying my portfolio. I got index, I got ETFs, I got individual stocks, I got silver. I don't have any real property. I told you, I invest in REITs through Fundrise. There's another REIT organization called Rooftop. I'm staying with Fundrise. I've been making decent returns off of Fundrise. And I showed some of you, looked at one of my other live sessions where I went and I actually showed you my Fundrise account, okay? Because I've had it for a couple of years, but I took the money out, sold my assets, then I reopened it because I was stupid. I make stupid mistakes too. And that's why I told you one of the worst mistakes you can make is being emotional. And here's the thing. If some of you guys are new to investing, hurry up and learn investments, okay? Hurry up. Don't run, but hurry up and learn investments because each day, each minute, you are losing money in the market. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I'm going to give you a nugget of information before I get out here because it looks like I've been well over an hour, okay? Well over an hour. And I thank you guys for staying with me this long. I'm going to give you this information. I'm going to read some of your notes, and I'm going to jettison out of here. Meet George Jetson. I know I'm weird. I know. But anyway, so here's the thing. Here's some ideas that I'm going to get into about multifamily homes. I know I've been preaching, I've been teaching, I've been talking about it. Here are my ideas. And I want you guys to steal them. I want you to write it down. I want you to think about it. I want you to ponder. Got that from Pinky and the Brain back in the day. Ponder. Anyway. Senior citizen multifamily homes that cater to senior citizens with the option of assisted living, meaning you have an RN or you have an LPN or LVN, wherever you're located, those terminology, or a licensed vocational nurse or a licensed practitioner nurse, or licensed LPN, LVN, something like that. Yeah, LVN, LPN, or RN, where they come in and they check on the seniors that's living there. That is going to put that multifamily home at an advantage over a regular multifamily home because you're catering to a group of people who don't like to move. Senior citizens don't like to move, and they don't like senior citizens' home. They don't like those homes. But if you had a nurse on call, if you had a LPN or LVN that worked there every day, and you had an RN over them, this may apply to different states because some states say, well, you can have an LVN or LPN actually staff, but I need an RN over them. Okay, a registered nurse over them, which is perfectly fine. You might have to just kind of pay them, what they call, what's that word? Concierge or a la carte per visit. You might have to pay them per visit. That's what I was really trying to say. So that is an idea that can be very profitable because senior citizens don't like to move. Guess what? You can give them a 5 and 10 year lease, revenue, money coming in. And before that business become profitable, even though it generates income and each unit is paying for itself, you can actually take those assets, that money from that asset, and dump it into another one and make both businesses dead out. You can make both businesses dead out, and then you don't have to pay taxes. This is what Amazon has been doing. Amazon has been moving at warp speed, building fulfillment centers and corporations around the world simply because they're not going to pay taxes. And some of you are like, what is this thing about taxes? Why should I care? I'm going to tell you why. The average person pays 40% of their annual salary in taxes. Look it up. 40% of your annual salary is in taxes. When you make up a business, a LLC, a corporation, if you don't use your debt as a vehicle to generate income and then dump it back into a debt negative business that helps that to generate income, then that business actually pays without the tax corporation deductions. Without the tax corporation deductions, you pay 60% in taxes. 60% in taxes. All right. Number two, multifamily home for public housing. My millionaire friend today told me HUD are making moves great for people who are in real estate, great for people who are providing rental properties for public housing, okay? For public housing. So those are my two nuggets. I'm going to come read some of your notes, and I have to get out here to go to the post office to make some money moves. I'll just say that. All right, what do we have here? Thank you, Miss Curly Girl. You've been awesome at moderating today. I appreciate it. Okay, Dolly Smith, I'm tired of looking at my W-2 and asking myself, who took my money? It's called the IRS, aka the federal government. Welcome to Taxation Without Representation, DC. Anyway, okay, you was telling the Canadian, what's a W-2, eh? It's a statement showing how much tax we're taking out of your income. I just looked at some info about it. Okay. All right, where am I at, guys? See, boom, boom, boom. Baby boomers are a huge demographic. Yes, they are. That's a brilliant idea. LC, even as a trader. So, and this is coming from Camilla Walker. LLC, even as a trader. Yes. Yes. So, when you go to the IRS.gov, excuse me. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Sterling Bank calling me. I transfer some money, about $3. It was a little more than $3. Anyway, where was I? When you go to irs.gov and you starting to get your EIN number for your business, you go under LLC and you're going to have 3 pass-through taxations. That's 3 pass-through taxations. You're going to have what they call your even though it's an LLC, they're going to treat it as a sole proprietorship slash individual. The number 2 is going to be S corporation, and then the third one is going to be corporation. As a trader, depending on the level of trading you're at, are you a accredited trader, meaning that your investment portfolio is worth more than $1 million? Then you want to file your LLC as a S corporation. That's a S corporation. You have 3. Taxation pass-through. You have 3. Sole proprietorship / individual. 2, S corporation. 3, corporation. I did corporation because I didn't want to get into the S corporation. Okay, I didn't want to get into the S corporation, Mr. Walker. It's something that you must read for yourself. Read for yourself. And I'm not saying that one is more profitable than the other. I'm just saying it's something you need to read for yourself before you file for S corporation. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. Anyway, I need to get out of here, guys. I thank you for joining me for as long as you did. Thank you for the likes and subscribe. And at any time in the bottom of all my videos, my email address, if you need any financial information, if you need credit letters to remove inquiries, or you want to dispute certain accounts on your credit, if you want to delete debt collectors and to challenge under the FCRA 609 and 611, which is a gray area, to remove creditors who have said that your account is in collections, they need to have proof. I have those letters. 4 series of letters. I have the letters and I also have the instructions. Please email me at blacklogic28 at protonmail.com. That's blacklogic28 at protonmail.com. And I believe my moderator, Miss Curly Girl, has it in the chat room. Okay. Also, if you want to invest with Stash, I have that in the description. Pretty soon here, I'm going to have my Coinbase. That's my Coinbase link in the description in case you want to actually invest in cryptocurrencies. Yes, I invest in cryptocurrencies too. Right now, the market of cryptocurrency, the other day, cryptocurrencies went down. They were around 9%. They went down a large portion. Now it's at 7,000 and something. But here's my thing. Most of my investments are long-term. So I'm not worried about it at all. Anyway, I thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully you learned something today, whether it be the pitfalls and mistakes that you can make in investments, or about creating a budget, or about LLCs, or about real estate, real property, or REITs. I hope you learned something, and I hope you stop being fearful like I have been, because I've been doing things totally wrong, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I have made. I want you to take that step forward. I want you to walk out, and I want you to make a business plan and act on your business plan and do everything that it requires. Read books, become educated, look at videos, but have a guide, okay? If I were to give you any more advice when it comes to something that you want to do, I would say read books about that situation. Talk to somebody. Look for that person, whether it be on a forum or a friend or a website. Look for somebody to talk to. Then thirdly, look at videos. Get all the information. That doesn't mean that you will all of a sudden become successful. I think you lower your risk. The more knowledgeable you are in the particular subject. The more knowledgeable you are, you lower your risk. You don't want to go on something totally stupid. It's like playing a pro football game and you never play football. You're going to get hurt. You're playing pro football, you never even played football. You're going to get hurt. You watch it on TV, but you've never played. You actually got to know the rules. You actually got to know the game, and you actually have to know how it is played. This is Financial Literacy 101. This is Roswell, and I'm out. I'm still here because I don't know how to stop this thing.